Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I was just chatting on Dan's Discord. Karina, good morning. How are you? Incidentally, my money went into my bank last night. Apparently, it goes into my Revolut account from Plane. And I did message Plane and they said that Apex are using a different payment provider, which is why the first time it took an extra couple of days. So from now onwards, it should be in quicker than it was before. So all good in the end. Which is good news, put it that way. So market is open and it's not really doing anything. It's been open kind of a minute and a half. It's just a bit stagnant, which is a bit unusual. Ordinarily, it flickers around a little bit. We got a leg up. Are we going to go up again? Who knows? So, Karina, good morning to you. Daryl, good morning. Exponential, how you doing, bud? So, yeah. Hit my bank last night. So, I was quite pleased. So, my plan is to try and get something every month. I think consistency is the name of the game, whether it's 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, whatever. I'll take anything really. I just want an improvement on. Right, come in. Just an improvement on last year. So I think I did 22,000 last year. It's either 22 or 24. I think it's 22. I did check. Year before was 8. So it's a 3x anyway. So. In all honesty, if I could earn $50,000, I'd be pleased this year. Now, I'd like to earn more. And obviously, you know, I've only got 5 accounts at the moment. Obviously, more accounts equals more profits. The trouble is more accounts equals a little bit more stress as well. So my experience is I have been up to 20 accounts and it was like, I don't know, it's like walking a tightrope under a load of sharks and crocodiles in a pit of snakes. So I think sometimes it's good to start small. So I've got 5 at the moment. I think it's a good number. When I get another payment, I'm going to add to it. In fact, I tell you what I am going to do is I trade my evaluations just stupidly, I think, quite aggressively. So what I'm going to do from now on is when we have a news event, I'm just going to trade 1, which may probably be only 3 or 4 per month, which is a lot less than I usually do. And I think the chances of passing them there are probably a lot higher than the chance that I pass them the way I trade at the moment. I'm surprised the market's stagnant. Volume's a little bit low overnight. Now, I didn't realise somebody mentioned we got some news which isn't showing up on my app for some reason, or my add-on. Is anybody else got any news up here? I noticed someone put it up on Dan's Discord, and I checked Forex Factory, and sure enough, Trump's speaking. Mind you, he's had speech after speech, isn't he? So I suppose it's always worth being a bit flat, isn't it? Yeah, you got it at 11. I got it at 4 o'clock UK time. So is it showing on your facts? Let me just check my app. My add-on is showing. It's actually not, which is unusual. I don't quite know why. Let me just play it again. So let's get rid of low, keep medium, keep high. Let's just move this out of the way. Left hand margin. What do I usually add to this? Enable country filter, that's it. So it's only really the US news that affects this. I think that's probably all I use. Okay, so let's just, yeah, it is showing. So it disappeared for some reason. I have been messing around with my account, so I did open a new template because I was messing around with it. Perhaps it didn't. So margins, top margin, let's give that 40. That's better. That'll do, mate. Okay, so unemployment claims, I don't think that did anything. It was around about here. So, yeah, he's speaking. So I don't know. He's been talking quite a lot, hasn't he? So I don't know. Who knows? But I think it's worth being flat. So I've just got that there anyway. So Tony, how you doing, bud? H, how are you? FS6, yeah. Oh, I did look at that thing, Tony, last night. In fact, I looked at it with the sound off. That thing you sent me. Let me just get it up. That's it there. Yeah. I did have a little look at it, but I had it with the sound off. I'm assuming it answers you, but interesting. I'll have to play around with it a little bit more. My wife was in the room doing some stuff last night, so but I'll have a look at that later. I need to start paying more attention to AI. I did watch. Did anybody watch that video last night? I thought it was hilarious, actually. Let me see if I can find it. What they called 49 weeks Santa Claus. That wasn't it. What they call Futures for Our Future. I thought it was funny. Let me have a look. Where is it? What are they talking about? Nutty in there. Thought it was yesterday, wasn't it? Oh, it's disappeared. Ah, that was it. Yeah, I don't know why I looked a month ago at that one. I thought they got Nutty. There's Nutty. Didn't he look cute? It made me laugh, that actually. I had a right chuckle last night. Look Nutty. Didn't he look brilliant? So it was a month ago, week 48. So have a look at that. They're quite funny. Futures for Our Future. Futures for Our Future. Yeah, it made me giggle last night now. This one is good because it can get access to live internet. Yeah, I'm going to play around with it. I actually opened it, but I opened it without the sound. But as I say, my wife was in the room doing something, so that is unusually slow this morning. We got a leg up there with a possible break at a new high. It's either or that. It fits kind of both ways. So I put it like that. Sometimes I've got a habit of moving too soon, but it does look like a break and eventually a new high. So maybe it is. Let's have a look, see if anybody else has got it. Yeah, Thomas Way's got it as a break. I think a few have got it as a break. It tends to be the general consensus that people are thinking it's a break. Let's have a look. Yeah, Dan's got it as a break. I'm using the... Yeah, for some reason, mate, it disappeared off mine, but I was messing around with my templates yesterday, and I think I picked that one which I had back last year, because I was changing the colour and messing around a bit, and I couldn't remember how to get it back, so I went with that one, and I think at the time we were having problems with that indicator. Do you remember about 6 months ago it wasn't working properly, and then who was it? I can't remember his name now. It'll come to me. I think reprogrammed it or did something in the code, and it started working. So I think that's what got rid of my economic news yesterday. So let me just check my orders are all opening.
Order submitted.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Order cancelled.
2. I like to just double check them and check them. 12 and 12. Happy days. Okay, so however that is, we've had a break at a new high anyway. So, we've been going up quite a bit, and that was the exception of that. We had some news there. That was something happened. I don't know, but we're having a bit of a pullback. So, Maybe we're going to retest these highs, but we've got all-time highs up here, so that may just be temporary. Made my coin on the PA account this morning. Time to sit back and learn. What do you trade, Tony? Do you trade this or do you trade something else in the mornings? Because this is slow. Overnight, this is just slow. Well, the 2000 tick chart is, I mean, if you had the minute chart or 2 minute chart, it would be a bit different. It'd be interesting to see how it would work. What I like about this is the bars are all the same size, within more or less. Whereas if I flick onto the 2 minute chart, they're all over the place. You got tiny little bars. I mean, that was news anyway, but the bars fluctuate so much. I mean, you've got a couple of ticks down here, then you've got a massive bar here. So they really fluctuate here. Mind you, what I will say is look at that for a second entry short and there. So I've never traded time charts. Well, not on this. I have a little with currency, but there seems to be loads of gaps there. It might just be how they fall, but there's a lot of dojis there. Look. I mean, there's a higher low there. I don't know. Maybe it might be for a bit of fun one afternoon. If I finish early, switch onto this and just trade it on a sim for a bit of fun, see what happens. But the bars are a lot bigger and it swings a lot more. Whereas if you flick over the 2000 tick chart, the bars are a lot more stable. See how the colour just changes over when I do that. I don't like that bright green, it fries my head. I think that's what I have, I think. There we go, that's better. Yeah, the bars, they're a lot more similar in size. I mean, you've still got the odd small one, but they're a lot closer. Sorry, I'm going to have to just ignore this. They can leave me a message. I traded the bounce off the 2 minutes and then went to the gym. Close on 1,000, good on you. Yeah, it's good to get the gym. I need to start back at the gym, to be honest. And in fact, I dug my old karate suit out night before last just to see if it's still fitted. I did karate for about 17 years and I injured myself twice in 1 year. I badly dislocated my big toe and I had some cartilage out on my right knee. So I stopped and kind of never went back. But I could do a start down the gym. We got Pure Gym just up the road. It's like 1 mile from my front door, 24 hours. And I did start a couple of times last year, but stuff got in the way. 1, 2, 3. Triple test, maybe. Yeah, just have to sit tight here. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, hit my bank last night. Finally, it took a little bit longer. You know, the trouble is, you hear rumours about Apex and you just, I don't know, there's stuff flying around, isn't there? I'm not too concerned, but the more people talk about it, and you can't help it. So when you put in for some money, and it takes a little bit longer than normal. Apparently, Apex, I did see the comment somewhere, Apex have changed providers. Still goes through Plain, but they're payment provider. So it took an extra couple of days. But I did it hit my Revolut account last night, so that was good news. That's my biggest payout in 1 month. I've had a few $4,000, but my plan is to try and get a few $10,000 months this year. 5 accounts, $2,000, or 10 accounts, $1,000 from each, something like that. But if I can hit something like $65,000, $62,000, it's 50 grand pounds, £50,000 notes, which in this country, 50 grand for a year's salary is not a bad salary, to be honest with you. 50 grand, it's not huge, but for working 2.5 hours a day, it's massive. But my plan is just to try and just get a much better year than this year. And obviously, you know, my main target, I would like to be earning 100,000 a year. Anything more is a bonus. I haven't yet, bud. To be honest with you, only recently have I hit break even, because I put a chunk of money in there. So this year on, I'm tallying everything up. I haven't even declared myself as a business because I've been making it, losing it, making it, losing it, making it, losing it. So I thought, when I break even, did you get your pay? Yes, it went in last night, Karina. I had 2 little pings on my phone. Ute. I like Ute, actually. Maybe a lot in Shropshire. What have I missed, bud? But yeah, I just thought, at least till I break even. Trouble is, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I got a cousin who's a teacher, earns about 32 grand a year. So I don't know what the average salary is in the UK, 35 grand, something like that. So let's say 50 grand, it's £1,000 a week. It's not a bad wage for working 2.5 hours, but that will be a nice starting point for me. Ideally, my aim is, if I can, to try and earn $10,000 a month, which over a year is about 100,000. If you earn 100,000 in this country, you're in about the top 2%. So it does take time. Yeah, it's not bad. 50 grand, is it really? Especially with the hours we work. I mean, you never see me. I mean, last night I stayed till 6 o'clock from 2:30 to 6, 3.5 hours. That's about the longest day I've done for a while. So. And the beauty is as well, we've got no overheads. It's probably the perfect business when it comes to overheads. We've got none. I built a computer 2.5, 3 years ago. That's it, really. You trade for a room. You haven't really got overheads as such. Obviously, what you invest in, Apex and stuff. But once you've, say, 20 accounts, theoretically, but, from a business point of view, you've got no vehicles, you've got no tools, no insurances, you got none of that sort of stuff. You never have to worry about being laid off, made redundant, and all that good stuff. See, I was a bricklayer for a fair few years, and the wages are pretty good. The trouble is, you miss so much time due to bad weather. You just can't lay bricks when it's raining. If it's lightly spitting, it's not so bad, but as soon as it starts raining, there's nothing you can do. And if anybody's ever visited the UK, one thing we're good at is rain. Same again, it's got to be 3 degrees centigrade and rising. You can't lay bricks anything colder. So that, snow, you can't lay bricks. If it's really windy, you can't lay bricks. I mean, I've spent half a day building a wall before and it's blown down. So it's just... Mario, you're a new face, but how you doing? So you trade 2 contracts? I do, yeah. Flat 2 contracts, going for a flat 3 points, which usually works out 1-to-1. I mean, at the moment the ATR's 2, so the average will be 2 3/4. So yeah. Right. There's one thing I forgot to do. So. I put this, somebody mentioned about a take profit code. Now I put this take profit, you see top left, $85, no PA fees. I think that's wrong. So just check up if you do that. I think there is a fee after it, because I watched a video last night. So just double check that. There is 50% off, but if it's 50% off down to $85, and you've still got to pay fees, that makes it rather expensive. So just double check. There is. So it's normally $170, but it's down to $85. And I heard someone say $130. So that's over $200. But why do people rave about it if it's over $200? It's got to be the most expensive for an evaluation, $85. And that's with 50% off. So just check on that. It has, mate. Yeah, it went down to about 1 point. I like it around about the 2.5. I do. It makes 3 points easier to get, and a tick above my signal bar, a tick below it gives me a 3-point risk. So usually I go for 1-to-1. That's kind of what is going on here. This has got to be tomorrow's, isn't it? Yeah, it's got to be. Let me just. Sorry about that. So, Mario, where are you from, bud? You're a new face. Let me just change this. I think it's showing tomorrow's as well, isn't it? Are you from Brazil? Oh, fantastic. Oh, good. Still blows me away, technology. You can be chatting with someone in Brazil live in real time. Yeah, it still amazes me. Good on you. Show only today, that's it. So apply. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I knew something wasn't right there. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it's nice to have some new faces in. So I'm just going to put my overnight highs and overnight lows there. Price is slow today, whether it is to do with Trump, but he has been making speech after speech the last couple of days, hasn't he? So whether this is, I don't know, more aimed at the economy as you know, I mean, he's talked about, isn't he withdrew support, military support for Ukraine? I'm not sure. I heard something like that. So we get the odd little bits of news coming out. Been trading for over a year now. Got very close to pay it twice. Yeah, we've all been there, but guess it takes more time, a lot of discipline. Yeah, that's the most important thing to keep in mind. You'll hear a lot talked about it's got a 90-95% failure rate. And I'll tell you something now, it's not because you're not capable of it, it's because people give up. Because it's a lot more difficult than people think. Learning a skill is one thing, but then you know, you've got the patience, you've got the discipline, and all the emotional side that you've got to learn to tackle as well, and it does take time. So I'll give you 2 bits of advice. It's going to take some time, and try and spend as little as you can, because it's so easy to throw away money. If you go down the prop route, never ever get more than one evaluation at a time, because if you start copy trading, you're going to be blowing multiple accounts. But keep a tight rein on your money, because it's so easy to get through a lot. But that's important. That only ever have one evaluation at a time. That's all you need. That's when you decide to go down the prop route, whether you have or not. I don't know, but it's so easy. I know sometimes, you know, they do these sales and 80%, 90% off, and it seems so cheap. The trouble is, it's got a downside when they're so cheap. You risk. You take more risks. You know, it goes without saying. You're risking $1. There's no issues, is there? You're risking $100. It's a little bit different. So really, really keep a tight rein on your budget. I'm only trading. Yeah, never do any more, mate. You don't need it. When you can make some money, that's the time to slowly grow then. Otherwise, you just throw massive amounts of money. You can reach me on Messenger anytime you want to chat. I'll happily chat trading morning, noon and night. I don't charge anything. I'll never charge anything. Anytime you want to chat, you know, I know some people have Discords and forums and all this sort of stuff. Doesn't interest me and all that. I like, you know, that bit of freedom. But, you know, I see you guys as my work colleagues, people I bump into every day, and we chat about stuff and trade together. It's no more than that. So, but yeah, I get messages from people morning, noon and night, so I'll happily talk about it if you want. You want to chat, you got something on your mind, or you've had a bad day or whatever. Anytime, mate, anytime. It's as well as a job for me, it's an interest, something that interests me. So, you know me, guys. I won't shy away from a chit chat. So I'm going to get rid of that at the moment. It's just a leg and a leg. I reckon we're going to get up here. There is, depending on what market's doing, whether it's coming down, there is going to be liquidity on these levels. Certainly there. So, you know, if we get up there, it may well take off some of this. That's unless we get a push down, a couple of legs up, and then down some more. So that's always a possibility. So let's just have I've not been trading a massive amount of time myself. 4 years, that's all. But I started out same as you, like we all did. So just going to have a quick look at the daily if it gets round. Yeah, I'm surprised if we've kind of had 2 legs up here. If we make it to the top without having a bit of a pullback. Mind you, we did there, didn't we? We more or less went straight up, but it was a particularly larger drop there. But it's hard to say. So it doesn't really give us much, does it? 10,000 tick chart is. I don't trade the NQ. No, that's for real men. NQ scares me. Moves too quick for me. The ES is a lot slower and a lot easier to control your money on. It's easy to get out of hand. That's my personal opinion. It's easy to get out of hand with the NQ. I know what I'm risking on my trades. I can trade one contract on the NQ and I could be risking $200 1 minute and $500 or $600 the next. So I just find it a little bit too erratic for me personally. I think I lack balls. That's what it is. But yeah, CL. Yeah, I've traded CL a little bit before. I think the 1500 or 1200 tick chart. What I found is with scalping, with this style of trading I'm doing, because the market's moving, well, usually moving relatively quick, a lot of my trades can pop up out of nowhere. So, you know, if I was trading 15 minutes or hour chart, you know, you could take a break. But I find sometimes keeping an eye on 2 charts at the same time for me, sometimes I'll drift off one and more onto another. So at the moment, I kind of like just trading the 1 chart. You know, when you're flicking backwards, sometimes you can get them confused a little bit, but it does work well. The CL, that's quite slow as well. But the NQ, that's quite dynamic. It does flicker around. So let's just have a little look here. Chad, how you doing, buddy? What's your thoughts on 2 legs back, expecting a retest of the uptrend and failed not long market close yesterday? What's your thoughts on the 2 legs back, expecting retest of the uptrend that failed so long before the market closed yesterday? Whereabouts you on about, mate? Before the market closed, so here somewhere, yeah? Pick it out roughly on my time frame down here. Remember, I'm 5 hours away. You can see what it is. You're not about something like there, are you? What are you on about? A bit closer, around 701. So there. Okay, you're on about those 2 legs there. I'll tell you what I'd have done there. I'd have had that down as a trend, and I'd have said, we've got a break, new low. So I wouldn't be thinking about going short just yet. I think 2 legs up. If you're going to take a short, personally, I would prefer the lower high. But it was a good reason to stay out there because we'd already made a new low. I like to give it a bit of time, and then fun enough, if you had done, you'd have made money, but then it did pull back up and clear out this area. So after we've had a break of a channel and a new low, I usually hang fire to figure out what happens, because obviously it can continue lower. But if it does continue lower, I would move that up there, and straight away, it just doesn't look quite right to me there. So I would have probably avoided that. But that is the type of trade I like. I mean, you know, some may call it a break of a range. If it had been a higher low there and it would have triggered, you'd have got more chance of trapping some traders there. So I'd have probably avoided that one. But it is a second entry short, but it's quite a small risk, isn't it? So sometimes if it's a small enough risk, you know, the gains to get down to the lows here, you know, maybe beneficial. And sent it to you on Discord. What have I missed, mate? In fact, Johnny, wasn't that you who sorted out the economic news update, wasn't it? I think it was the same one, 12:20 UK time, maybe. Yeah. See on Discord what I was talking about. Okay. Which Discord, bud? Thomas's or Dan's? So I missed Ben. Sent it to you're on Discord, Ben, aren't you? Message it. Okay, bud. Okay. Ben, you're on Discord, aren't you? Are you in Thomas's, Ben, are you? You got the icon of the bloke with his arms open wide, haven't you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're on Thomas's, aren't you? Okay, so yeah, it's hard to know what to do here. It is ranging a little bit there. Wonder if this is going to fail. Twelve 2012 UK time. Oh, you're on about that one. I noticed that Quantar have updated their drawing tick chart. I've not tested. In fact, I went to open Quantar last night and couldn't open it for some reason. You're on about that one, aren't you? I think the second entry long failure. If that's the one you're on about, I think that's okay, mate. The only issue is there, so I would say. Now, some may say that's a channel. Sometimes I think it's good to keep it tight. Yeah, that's it. I think that's okay, mate. Yeah. We've got a channel with a break and a new high. Yeah, technically, it's not a second entry long, but it's two legs down and a bullish bar that's triggered. So, yeah, I would prefer it to close a tiny bit below the AMA. But, yeah, I don't see an issue with that, mate. Because you're going to get traders doing that and thinking, two legs back, let's go long here. If that triggers and comes back there, chances are I would say it's going to break below there. And if it does break below there, it's going to trap traders and likely to come down. But I would started that like that. And in all fairness, sometimes I've got a habit of moving these too quick. So under that circumstances, that fits lovely. That's a clear break. So, yeah, you're going to get traders going long there. So, yeah, I think that's okay. If I'd have seen that, I think I'd have taken that myself. The fact that it is a little bit above the EMA, I don't think that's less of an issue, because if you're trapping longs and it does push down below there, you know, you're going to trap longs, aren't you? And then it works. Obviously, it works down. Took it long. It was an upright. Okay, so you were looking for a retest of this, aren't you? Yeah, it's easy to get trapped there. My simple way I look at things, if I'm not sure, I think the best way is to leave it. You took it long as well. So I'd look at that with a break and a new high. That to me doesn't look like two legs back. It looks like a channel. Now, I've mentioned this before, I prefer my legs like this, side by side. That two legs is like that. It's almost overlapping. You see what I mean? There's your first entry. There's your second entry. So it's really not a second entry long technically. And if you look at that, that long there is in the middle of a small downtrend. So I would have avoided that, and I may have actually gone short there. But I prefer my legs as two legs back, more like that. That is like this, isn't it? I prefer them like that. That's how I tend to like my legs. But yeah, The trouble is, mate, you'll do that so many times you'll get trapped, and it's a great way of learning. Sooner or later you'll think, "Oh, this looks like a trend, a little channel. I may just leave that," and it comes down, and you've saved yourself a trade there, and that's how it kind of happens, doesn't it? That's how it kind of learns, a leg and a leg. Yeah, anytime, mate. Yeah, anytime you want to message me about something as well, you don't have to wait till I stream. I'll happily answer. But yeah, the trouble is, it's easy to see it after the fact because we can see what's happened, but in real time, it is a lot harder. So yeah, I would say, see, when you draw these channels, keep them as tight as you can. That fits beautifully, doesn't it? Now we have had a break and a new high, so after a break and a new high in an uptrend, I would always avoid that first long, just in case. And that, to me, there's a possible break. If I think there's a break, I'd say assume there is, and just give it a bit of space, and then you'll have found out that, you know. But it does take time, doesn't it? See, there are times where I've had that myself, and I've gone long there. So yeah, I think the more times you mess up with trading, the better you get at it. The better you get at, you know, avoiding these traps. I was considering going long there, fading that, but I wouldn't do it after a 16-point bar. I wonder if there is something larger up. Who knows? So let's have a look. I've sent you a breakdown of the trade on Discord. Direct message. Okay, that's why I couldn't see it. Let me have a look. How do I get messages? How do I find messages on here, bud? It's not there, is it? Inbox. Okay, that'll be it, won't it? Inbox. Okay. Oh, top left. Direct message. Yeah. Okay. I've had messages here before and didn't know anything about it. What is the Discord channel that Dan... I'll tell you, mate. They've actually sent me messages before, haven't you, bud? Is that in here? He is somewhere, isn't he? Seems I've had messages in here before. 2 minutes ago. Crikey. I've had messages here before. People are going to think I'm so rude. Right, I think I've accepted it, haven't I? I messaged you on Discord just now as well. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Let's have a look. Bobby B. Who's Bobby B? That's you, Ben, isn't it? I don't think now. Okay, anyway, quickly. This is Dan's there. I think my name is shortened to Discord for some reason when you are streaming. Anyway, so this is Dan's here. I don't know how you. Someone sent me Oh, that's you. I got you. How do I send an invite? How do I do an invite here? I'm sure I can do an invite, can't I? One above Dan's Discord. Down. Oh, that one there. That's you, isn't it? It is you, isn't it? That's how I said it on the there, isn't it? That one there with the arms open. I'm pretty sure that's you. Yes. Okay. I thought it was. Okay. Yeah. Got you. Yeah. Well, let's have a look. Can't zoom in here, can you? Right, so that's the trade you were looking at, wasn't it? That was the drop. Yeah, it was here, wasn't it? Did you get caught out in that? Yeah, so you've got that as one channel up, haven't you? The trouble is, it's hard. So it's hard to get it wrong. It's easy to get it wrong. So I would have started that like that. I think. I would have started that there. Once we started having a few in there, I would have started that like that. That fits really nice. So to me, it's easy for me to say this now because I know what happened. But in real time, that to me looks like a channel with a small break. And then when we bounced off this area there, we've kind of got a channel down and we've gone up a couple of times. So I wouldn't take that. Another reason I wouldn't take that is it looks like a channel to me. See what I mean? It looks like a channel. Let me find an example. See this here? Leg and a leg. That's not a channel up. That's two clear legs. It's not a great signal bar to go short, but it worked. So... yeah, let me just find the easiest sort of way. This, two legs back, second entry long, more or less, and it worked. Whereas this, it's a channel. So by the time you've got that bar there, it's already representing itself as a channel. So I wouldn't have taken that because, one, it's the channel. Even if I'd have had that like that as there, I wouldn't have taken it because it looks like a channel. I'll see if I can... post an invite on here. Let me just... I'm not doing anything here at the moment. It's hard to know what the hell's going on. So... just have a word with Dan. Okay, I've just messaged Dan, see if he can sort me out. Yeah, plus you have to pay, plus tax. I don't know why I'm paying tax, but yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw the other day there was an invite on there somehow. I can't see it now. Yeah, so it works out at $30. I do think Dan is a really good trader. There's some trades he takes. I didn't see them, which I kind of like. I look at his chart now because I'm thinking I didn't see that, but when you zoom in and look, someone sent me an invite the other day. Can anybody see where? Hold on a sec. Channel down, 2 attempts to push higher. It's a little bit choppy around here. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, to be fair. No, I'm just going to sit tight. Let me just drag this in. Can anybody see where? I don't think he's read my message, is he? You posted invite link. Okay, on the Facebook group. Okay. So if anyone's interested, I'll just put the just in case you. I think most people know what it is. Let's have a look. You have done or you're gonna. Where it says Ninja Trader, there's an invite button. Where it says Ninja Trader. Here. Is that it, is it? Invite people. Right, who wants the invite? Top one? That's a yes, in it. Ben, you? I thought you were already on it. Okay, let's do that one. Let's do that one. Who else? Zen. Let's have a look. There's no one else really that isn't on here, I don't think. That's the only other one, isn't it? Zen. Is Zen here, is he? So, you're a member already. Okay, so that's it then, isn't it? Yeah? Okay, I think you're all good then, I think. Okay, at least I know where it is now anyway. If anybody does want to hook up, just let me know. I think I sent you one, didn't I, bud? That's you, isn't it? Invite. Oh, sent. Okay. Invite. I thought I sent him, haven't I? Oh, they are sent now anyway. Yeah, that's you too, isn't it? Yeah, sorted. Excellent. Sorted. You got it, brilliant. Yeah, it is worth it. I do rate Dan as a good trader. Look at some of his charts lately. I completely missed some of the trades he picks. Also, I've noticed he stretches it out as well, and I don't know whether some more appear or not, or it seems more. Has he taken anything yet? I don't think he has. Oh, the website, not the app. Okay, you've got them anyway, I think, haven't you? So spends a lot of time chatting. Yeah, he does. Yeah, yeah. He's helped me. I think he's been trading. I don't know, a couple of years longer than me. And I think when I first started trading Pats 3.5 years ago, he helped me out a lot. There is a second entry long there. We've pushed up and we've bounced twice off that midline, but it's choppy here. So I'm just sitting out this. That ATR is really low. Price is really going slow. The only thing I can think of, it's leading up to this news, but there's not much going on, is there? Yeah, it never worked anyway. This looks like it might be it's in a bit of support, yeah. So as long as you're anyway, but yeah, he'll happily talk to you. It's nice when people pass it on. I think as you get a bit more experience, you pass it on to someone else. Yeah, I'm not a fan of people charging people. Now, if you're a 25-year-old seasoned veteran, yeah, I get it. But I know. That almost looks like a Head and Shoulders pattern. I know Wilson charges. Not something I do. I know Wilson still has his struggles himself. If you're a seasoned trader and you've been doing it years, and you got proven success, then I got no issues with charging people. But some people they get a few trades under the belt and they start knocking up things and charging people. I had loads of free help from people. So you pass it back. That's how it works. The app charges more for some reason. Does it really? Okay. Where's his website? Has he got a website, has he? I'm sure if you put something on the Facebook group, I don't know what it is. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not doing nothing here at the moment. It's just a bit. No, it's chopping up and down a bit, isn't it? Yeah, see, this is one from yesterday, I think. I just never saw that as a trade. Get a sharp move down, a little break, and then a move up. I didn't see that. I was looking for a second leg down. It looks like one leg to me, see. But he took it. Same there, really. Kind of looks one leg, but he took it. I think, if I'm looking at it, there's a lower high there, which triggers, so it's a trap. Same with that one there. So we've got a bearish bar and a lower high, triggers below it and pushes up. So he's taking trap trades there, isn't he? So, I mean, he marked 3 trades. That one, so I'd have left that one personally, and reason being is if this is a channel, we're coming down to the bottom. We didn't there, so I'd expect a break. Now, we did get a break, but not after it made some points. So watch his trades. He's a good trader. And he puts his chart on. He had a bit of a flat spell. He didn't post much up until a few months recently. But no, there isn't. No. I mean, to be honest with you, What I will say is Mac charges $125 a year. I actually feel like I'm robbing him. But if you're looking for a trading method to learn, I would 100% stand by Mac all day long. Anybody who charges you $125 and it hasn't gone up in 4 years isn't out to rob you. And he's an absolute gentleman. He answers every single one of his email. And if you've ever emailed Mac, you don't get a 2-word answer. He answers you properly. He tells you what you need to know. He doesn't, I mean, you tend to think sometimes if people are getting hundreds of emails, they're yes, no, can't help you type thing. But I think he might be worth joining when he releases the ebook. How is he? Yeah, see, I had a year first, and then I had a 6-month break, and then I went back for another year because I think sometimes it's good to go back over the basics because sometimes you can get into bad habits sometimes, and I felt like I was going for a bit of an off spell, so I thought I'd go back over it. So I may do it again later in the year. I think it's always good to remember the basics, but it is sometimes you can get into some bad habits. Shoulder, head, shoulder. This looks like a bearish pattern. I think it might be worth joining one. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, you're down. Gotcha, yeah. A leg and a leg. See, I don't trade patterns. Leg and leg. We're struggling to get up here, but surely this looks like a head and shoulders pattern. Now, obviously, people trade them, don't they? So we got the shoulder, head, shoulder. Isn't that a bearish pattern? I'm not going to trade it, but I try and pay attention to them because it is relatively clear, isn't it? We leave this, we push up, we struggle, we have another go, we struggle. And in fact, 1, 2, 3, we've actually made 3 attempts to push higher. So in a strange way, it's like a triple test there. I personally wouldn't have taken that one because it's into the midline. It's not massive. But it does look like this may come down this way. We need to keep an eye on that news as well. I've got a habit of forgetting it. Yeah, Dan's just said this. You can't sign up on Android at all. Apple charges a lot more. PC is best. Yeah, so just get on your PC, go onto the website, and do it that way. That's unless you've already signed up. Do they charge him or charge us? Three-minute charge. We have a perfect channel in 3 minutes, have we? Oh, going up. What about that, are you? Shall I tell you what I think? I think there's a big bullish bar there and there, isn't there? And maybe there. I think this is going to come down below this area. Yeah, it's kind of going up, but we're bouncing off this area, aren't we? So my guess is there's a big bullish bar there which has triggered on there. So I think price is going to come down below there. Actually, the 3-minute chart doesn't look terrible, does it? I looked at the 2-minute early and the bars were really different there. They're a lot more even. Yeah, it's going a bit sideways, isn't it? The volume is very low this morning. It must be because of this news. That's the only reason that I can fathom. With Trump speaking. Yeah. Hey, Sean, how you doing, mate? Yeah, to be honest with you, it's very sideways and it's very sedentary, isn't it? So I'd say you're probably right. I don't think a lot's happening, really. In fact, I'm going to go make a cup of tea in about 10 minutes. Well, I might leave it 15 minutes when we're leading up to the news. It's going to roll on the 2000. Yeah, it looks like. Now, I do pay attention to these sometimes, just out of curiosity more than anything. But it looks like a shoulder. Obviously, it's kind of. It's not just because it's a pattern. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? We have a push up there, we have a break. We manage to get higher a few times. We pull back. We try again a few more times. We've had 3 pushes up and a drop back and another 3 pushes up. So my guess is this is going to come down, clear out this area. How far it'll get down, I don't know. Karina maybe makes the SP crazy. You never know. Yeah, it'd be nice of them to bring second entries into law, wouldn't it? Be nice to get some, well, at least guaranteed 2 a day. Yeah, I can't see this getting up here. And then we get a great big bullish bar. Yeah, I trade the NQ sometimes on evaluations because you don't seem to need to move far to pass one. If you trade them aggressively, I think it's a bit easy. They're a bit easy to pass on the NQ. It might just be me, but yeah, I kind of get that impression. On 10 contracts, it's only got to move the distance of the average bar, whereas on this, it's got to move 6.25 points. Which now, bearing in mind the ATR's leg, but that's such a big move. You've got to get 6.25 points on 10 contracts to pass an evaluation. Whereas if you're on the, let's do the NQ. If you're on the NQ, it's 64 ticks. So let's go on to the NQ. 5-minute chart, you can see the bottom of the channel a lot better. I'll have a look in a sec, bud. See the NQ, it's got to move 64 ticks. Which is, let's say 65. Do you see what I mean? There's one hell of a difference between getting that much of a move, which is the size of the average bar, to getting that much of the move, which is the size of 4 average bars. So obviously you can blow it quicker, but it's not much of a move that to pass an evaluation if you are trading them aggressively, of course. 1, 2, 3. Is that a triple test? What did you say? The 5-minute chart. Let's have a look. I'm not trading anything at the moment anyway. We've got that news approaching, and it is going a bit stagnant. Yeah, it's very much rangy, isn't it, there? Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was the NQ, wasn't it? My mistake. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that looks better. That looks better. It still looks a bit sideways from me, this bit. We're whipping up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But yeah, I see. I get your point. Yeah, it does. Fits really nice, actually. Funnily enough, in fact, yeah, that makes sense. That doing that, doesn't it? Yeah. In fact, I'll go as far as to say you don't often get channels fitting that well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 easily touches. Yeah, that's about as good. That's about as good as a channel looks, actually. It is a little sideways, but yeah, you can't argue with that. They just don't look any neater than that. Yeah, good point, that, mate. And in all honesty, they all almost move together. Sometimes they're almost identical. Other times they look completely different. But if I see a strong move on the NQ, I used to have one side by side, and a lot of times when I took a trade on the ES, I made sure I had a similar looking picture on the NQ. Sometimes, though, I found that I stayed out of trades that went on to be good, so I dropped it in the end. But they do work really well together. They kind of mimic each other to a degree. I don't know which mimics what more. I used to think the ES follows the NQ, but someone told me otherwise. So. Yeah, Dan's saying, I don't see a single setup I've even considered taking since I came on. Exactly right. It's just up and down, isn't it? The only thing I can think about is because there's the news. I mean, obviously a lot of institutional traders will be trading this, may jump in for a run for the day. But if you've got Trump speaking, then it might be why volume's low and people are sitting tight. Okay, so that pattern didn't work. That's why I don't trade patterns. Yes, follows NQ. Yeah, that's the kind of feeling I got. If the NQ, because the NQ moves a lot quicker. So if price is going to go down, you'll usually see the NQ move first, followed by the ES. So I found that if I was looking at a short, sometimes the NQ had already kind of started moving south, which kind of encouraged me to trade. But the trouble is, sometimes if we were at the top of a channel and I was looking to go short, and the NQ looked similar, the NQ was down here, so I didn't take a trade up here. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I found them a little bit difficult, and I ended up dropping it in the end. But I don't think it's a bad thing looking at both of them. You want to book is thinner on the NQ, is it really? Yeah, I don't know enough about how the NQ works, to be honest with you. I find it hard to manage risk on the NQ. Here, I've been trading this every day for 3.5 years, so I kind of know how things work here. But I found a risk could be 200 or it could be 700 for the same amount of contracts on the NQ, and that kind of unnerved me a little. Obviously depends what you trade. I was trading them on the 2000 tick chart, but obviously if you trade it on a smaller tick chart, the ATR's lower. If you trade it on the minute or 2 minute, probably lower still. See, the ATR's 1 point. Let's have a look. So on the NQ, the ATR at the moment is 15. So let's say 15.5. So if you go over the 2 minute, which seems a popular chart, I'm guessing it's going to be lower than that. That can't be the same, surely. Does it make a difference, or is it me? So 2000 tick chart, ATR. Why doesn't it change? That's unusual. If I go down to 1000 tick chart, it'll change. It should go half of that. Or double it. Oh, sorry, 10,000, my mistake. Let's get back to 1,000. There we go. So that should be half the 15, so it should be around 7.5. 10, okay, that's better. So it doesn't fluctuate between 1,000 tick chart and 1 minute. No, there's hardly a difference. Okay, so 2 minutes is on par with the 2,000 tick chart. That's unusual. Joe watches both. Yeah, he does. See, I just found out I wasn't concentrating on one more than the other. I just find size a little bit hard to manage. So, having said that, I mean, if you could, if you wanted to reduce your risk, really, go down to the 1,000 tick chart. In fact, I think I used to trade it on or look at it on the 1,500. So risks a lot easier to manage there, I find. Trade the NQ 1,000 tick chart. If I got to the 2,000 tick chart, it's going to be double that. And obviously bars are a lot more riskier. Well, not quite double, but still a chunk higher. Yeah, it's very much sideways, isn't it? See channel with a break. One attempt to go higher. Second attempt to go higher. Okay, I'm just going to take... We've got that news coming up in just over 15 minutes. So I'm going to take a quick break, make a cup of tea. It's very slow today. So, yeah, Dan was saying he hasn't seen a single trade, really. And yeah, there isn't really nothing. It's just more up, down, isn't it? If you're scalping for a point or something, you know, there are ways, aren't there? I did kind of look at that one. Well, eventually it did go down. I considered it. I ummed and ahed it. It's kind of it's almost like a triple test, and it never triggered on the first bar anyway, but it did pull back, but it didn't break above it until eventually it would have worked. But be ready. Yeah, be interested to see what happens actually. Trouble is, he's speaking, isn't he? So it's not like it's not like a news release as such where the market tends to go haywire. But I wonder how long he talks for. Because obviously that bears an impact as well, doesn't it? So there you go. I'm going to leave it for about 3 to 5 minutes. I'll make a cup of tea and I'll be back. Okay, sorry about that. Did I? Oh, I didn't put my 5-minute break. Thought I'd make myself a latte. Okay, so it kind of did look like it may get up for a second leg and clear off. There'll be a little bit of liquidity here, so I do wonder whether this is a leg down, couple of legs up, and then maybe another leg down. So channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high. So that measured move falls right there, interestingly enough. Let's get this accurate. Right at the bottom, and I've put that down to about there, so that's where I'd like that to hit. One more tick, spot on. So that to me looks clearly like 2 legs up. So it'd be interesting to see whether this just breaks above this or not. Actually, I don't think that looks terrible. Let's see if anybody else has got it. Taylor's got a break. Your second leg needs to be on the next pivot. Yeah, pivots don't mean much to me, bud. Let's have a look. So Taylor's got it as 1 channel. Thomas Wade's got it as 2 channels. But I would have said 1 channel, but funnily enough, Dan's got it as 1. Sorry, I would have said 2 channels, but Dan's got it as 1 channel, which is a bit unusual. My gut feeling would be do that first and then see what happens. After we've had a break, give it a chance to push up, especially as we've got a measured leg. So I would like to see a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high. So technically it's played out. Now, if it triggers this and continues to go up, then extend it. I think that's the best way to do it personally. Sometimes I can get into a habit of drawing bigger channels too quick. So I always like, as we know, market moves in 2, so we got a move up with the break, 2 pushes to a new high. Can you please explain why you put the second leg where it is, please? Here, Tony, yeah? Is that what you're on about? What do you mean the second leg? You're on about with this? It's because of its low break. It's because of its low. If it's the low of the break. Measurement. Okay, so as we know, market likes to move in 2s, and often measured moves. Often they work right to the tick, and it's a good indication where that second leg. Blues measure move tool. Sure what you mean there, but blues measured move tool. Are you on about this thing? Yeah. Are you on about the actual tool, where to get the tool, or how it works? You just on about getting the tool, bud, or you want to know how I look at them? Oh, here. Okay, so that to me is the first leg up with the break. So why did I put it there? It's a good question, actually, because as we've pushed up, that is where we've bounced before we've moved. So sometimes it's not that easy. I just do it where it seems to fall naturally. We pushed up and we kind of had a break. I think it was where the break, but look how it's worked. You see what I mean? You're clearly playing a part there. So that's our first leg up and a break. So I just put it where it kind of, I don't know, experiences just sort of told me where to put it, but that's where we've had the break, and then it's eventually moved up from there. But you can kind of tell it's in the right place because you can see this. Now it may move higher, but we've got 4 bars closing. Look there. Look how accurate that is. I could make that even more accurate. Let's put that right to the top. We're right at the bottom, right at the top, and right on that red line. Look how perfect that's touching. So the low after the break. Yeah, sometimes it's a lot more clear, but look how you can 100% see that's playing a part. It doesn't mean it won't go higher, but you know, this type of leg is a lot clearer. There. Now, obviously that you could see it played a part here before it came down, but some legs are used, but it's usually after the break or the correction. So I would put my second leg there because it's like a leg up with a break. So yeah, I think without me waffling on too much, channel, break, and then the lower the break for the second leg up. Sorry, mate, I'm waffling the long way round there, but you can clearly see where it's reacting to. You know what I mean? There is going to be liquidity there. I'm guessing there's going to be maybe short stops there. So this thing's got a couple of legs up and down for another leg maybe. Then people may be protecting that area, but you can clearly see where it's bouncing. So it's a good indicator really of where price is going. And if you think we've had a nice correction, if you can get in here, at least, you know, it may give you an indication if you want to hold. That news is coming up in about 30 seconds. Knowing Trump, he's probably fashionably late anyway. So I don't know whether to expect. Usually when we get a news release, boom, it's there, isn't it? And price reacts accordingly. But if he's talking, I wouldn't have said it would start flicking around straight away. Okay, so let's see if it breaks that there. My guess is it will. Yeah, okay, so expect a couple of more ticks. That's a little better, yeah. So I think it's a natural area of liquidity there. 2 legs down and a pullback before it went. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. When we get a kind of a new release, it's data released, isn't it? And market tends to act accordingly. But when people are speaking, yeah, it's usually if they're rabbiting on, price doesn't really do a lot. So I may be inclined now to put that there. Now it's continued on up and say now we've had a break in a new high. And that actually doesn't fit too bad. Okay, so I'm assuming it's this, isn't it? Economic Forum. So it'll be about the economy then. So that's probably why they've, because he's made a bunch of speeches. If this one's specifically targeted at the economy, that's why we've got it as high impact news. Okay, so channel break new high. No one is on stage yet. Trump's supposed to speak. Yeah, he's usually a little bit running. Well, I mean, the president. It's not. Things don't always run like clockwork, do they? So you have to think then that price may reach this area. It's hard to say. Yeah, it's the World Economic Forum in Davos, isn't it? So that makes sense. The high impact news. So yeah, it'd be that one, won't it? So no one on stage yet. Okay, so it looks like he's about to, I think, isn't he? Yeah, he's up there. It's remotely from somewhere, I'm assuming, isn't it? No, he's pro crypto. Bitcoin's 105,000 at the moment. It's actually not off all-time highs, is it? What is it? 107, I think. I think it's 107. So there is a lower high there. Trouble is, you never know where these things are going to stop. Could be a spike and shell. It may just continue on up. And obviously we've got the news, so it's a no-go. Okay, he is talking now, so yeah, he has. There he is. Bless his cotton socks. My gut feeling is this is probably going to come down now. We've had 2 legs up comfortably. We've cleared off some of this area. Be interested to see if we got this leg down with 2 pushes up. I'm not confident enough to trade it, put it that way. So I've got him on another monitor anyway, just to see when he's finished. I see there is a possible second entry long there. I'd usually take that on the failure if we've had a break in a new high, but obviously with the news, I think that would be dangerous, possibly fatal. Okay, so that's triggered. Let's see where this goes. I wouldn't go long there personally because of the break and the new high. I always avoid that first one. Lower high. Maybe not now. Trouble is, you never know what he's going to say. Yeah, I was hoping that would just trigger and turn there. The fact that it's pushed up would make me kind of stay out of this, I think. Obviously, with the news as well. I mean, it may not do anything, but you never know what he's going to say, do you? Right, yeah, it's flickering around a bit now. Leg and a leg. Channel break, new low. Yeah. See, there's a bullish bar and a higher low there. I wouldn't be thinking about going along there, although we have 2 legs back. I'd be looking for a trap. And that's it there. Oh, it's very tempted to take that. The trouble is, we've got that news, haven't we? You just don't know what's going to happen. It is a little bit stacked. It is a second entry short. Price is under the EMA, but it's just too dangerous at the moment with that news. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah, it is. It's a little bit congested there. Okay, so I'd say there was quite likely some stops there, so someone took that second entry short. Trouble is, it is a second entry short, but it's stacked up, as Max says, 3 or 4 bars stacked side by side, so there is extra risk there. And not only that, we've had 2 legs, so if there is a bigger channel, we could have had 2 legs back and make a new high. So you don't know whether it may be because of the news this is happening or what. Or is it because of an overshoot? Who knows? My gut feeling now, this may be a bigger channel up, which is why we're having 2 legs back and a push up and a new high. I would go as far as to say, I would say probably maybe a spike in a channel. If you draw the downtrend skinnier, what about that? Well, yeah, I looked at that. I'm looking at a picture in front of me with the same thing. So possibly, see, I like that, but you never quite, Dan's just said maybe it's a bigger uptrend. So it's hard to tell, really. If it is an uptrend, it's more like a spike in a channel. In which case, after a trend, we can get 2 pushes down and then a move up. So it may be the overshoot that sent it up. It's hard to say, really. Sometimes the overshoot sends it up. It may just be retesting these high. It's not super clear, really. In all honesty, it could be a bigger channel with a break, 2 pushes down, and then up to make a new high. I don't know, to be honest with you. Simple thing is, if you're not sure, stay out of it. I'm going to put that back to where I originally had it. So I actually like that. There could also be something larger there. It touches, it runs up there. Trouble is, we need 3 areas of touch, really. That's one area. This is only really the second area. So it's hard to say, really. Could be a channel up, one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. So that's a possibility. It's just a bit too early. I think. I mean, we've had this big push up, haven't we? So we could be testing this area. I mean, you would have thought anything Trump does say based on the economy is going to be positive anyway, because obviously you take it over as president, you want to put a nice positive spin on the outlook, don't you? So you would say it would likely be all be relatively positive. So I'm kind of looking for something like that. couple of legs back and then push up again. We've had kind of like a little double top there, so yeah, see, Thomas has got it as a spike and channel. I think there's merit for both of them, so it's hard to say. And then he's got rid of it. So yeah, it's a tough one, really. Got a push up, strong push up above the EMA and a bounce. So it may go higher or it may trigger that and come back down for a second leg. I'm not sure at the moment. That worries me, that does. This looks to me like one leg broken into two. I'd like to see a second leg down, which means breaking below there. If it gets below there, there's going to be one hell of a lot of stops there. Yeah, it's struggling to get up. It's worrying me there. You've got to think there's going to be buyers there, and that's vulnerable. If it gets below there, there's the next spot. Okay, so it found its way eventually. Unfortunately, it's only really a first entry. There's your failure. I wouldn't call it high or low. It's a little channel with a break. A higher low or a second entry long would have been the better option. It has broken and made a new high now, so we've had 2 legs back and 2 legs up. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't convincing enough break. Maybe it is a spike in channel. It doesn't look overly terrible, to be fair. Channel, 2 legs back. And we had 2 legs down and bounced off overnight highs, didn't we? And then a strong push above that EMA. So I suppose there's merit for that going long. Trouble is, it's only really a first entry, so high low has got to be the option there, but unfortunately we didn't get one. Sellers are hammering the bid with the large orders. So we've had a break in the way of 2 legs down, 2 pushes to a new high. So I'm avoiding the longs just at the moment. Be interested to see what happens if this bullish bar here triggers. Now there is possibly a larger channel up there, but it's a bit too early after the break and 2 pushes up. Okay, that has triggered now. I still like to see leave this a minute. It is actually working nice there in the midline. Touch, 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 touch. And here as well. Trouble is, I'd like a higher low, really. I tend to want to avoid this anyway. As soon as we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new high, technically that's played out. So, you know, it could reverse. Whether it will or not, I don't know. I mean, Trump's obviously talking. I bet he's giving all the positive stuff on the economy. So you'd think you take over as president, you know, your first sort of economic speech wants to be a positive one, doesn't it? So it may continue up, but it's just a bit early to go long here, I think, at the moment. Ah. Yeah, there is a higher low there, stroke second entry long. Trouble is, it's into the highs. So I don't even know where this thing is going to continue up. We've had a break, 2 pushes to a new high. Now, it does look like it's fitting there, but I don't want to go there. There's just no space at the top, so you can't trade that, I don't think. So they are going to release some reporting to allow traders to see what rules they broke. Does anyone know anything about that? No. I've heard something mentioned, I think, in one of his speeches. Yeah, I think what they should do is do something like that so you can see if you've broken a rule. And also, I don't think they should allow you to take money. I think money should, if you go into your payouts and you select the box, and if an account drops down, it is valid for payout, but it doesn't mean they're going to do it. I think they save themselves a lot of time having to review accounts. So if they implement the rules so that it only drops down if you haven't broken the rule, and you can automatically pay out. That way, they can pay you out quick. Wealth charts there lies, but I haven't seen any reporting. No, I signed up for it, but I didn't continue with it. I opened it up. I thought this just looks like a headache, but I don't know. I'm used to NinjaTrade. I've been using it for 3.5 years, so I just thought just stick to what you know. But yeah, it'd be nice to have something that you can go in there and see if you've, it's any rules. Because sometimes people, I swear, they haven't broken a rule, and sometimes there may be one that, they might have forgotten. Trouble is, the ironic thing is, I could take a stupid trade now, risk all my account, end up getting 2,000 in profit, apply for a payment, they'll refuse me, but 8 days later, I could still take, withdraw money as long as I play for the... Doesn't matter what I've done leading up to it. I think it's a matter of time before they do something about that as well. Some journaling software. I went into the website and it was paid service. Right, okay. Yeah. Try that platform they gave me free. Yeah, I know they were doing a few free evals, weren't they? Incidentally, Dan has put a larger channel in there now, if anyone's interested. There and there. The trouble with that is you want to be looking at trade down here, so I would say I actually like that with a break and new high. So yeah, I don't think that's terrible actually. The trouble is, if you do something like that, you're naturally waiting for it to get to the bottom of the channel. So, yeah, I mean, depending how you look at this, there was a break there. But I wouldn't want to take this. The high low for me is just, it's one, it's too far from that EMA, and two, there's only a couple of ticks to the high, 3 ticks maybe. He's still talking, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. Mind you, the price isn't really doing much anyway, so... It's not the easiest day to trade. There's nothing I can say that I'd have taken. It's hard to trade this sort of stuff. Then we just kind of take off. We don't come back to the MA2 here. And then we push off. There is a failure there. Second entry short failure, but the bar's massive then, isn't it? So maybe a second entry long with that bar further down here I may have had a go at. Yeah, it's not the easiest day to trade, really, is it? Is he finished speaking now, or is he? Oh no, he's. No, it's not really, is it? Is it? Perhaps not much is going to happen. It depends, really. I mean, he's only going to say positive stuff, you think, anyway. You wouldn't start your first economic speech with a negative outlook. Where is Davos? Is it Europe somewhere? Davos. Switzerland. Okay, yeah. Okay, that rings a bell. We may be ranging a little here. The trouble is, having these bigger channels, a channel, when you trend in a channel, let's pick this one here, you naturally want to go long. Let's do this one. You want to go long right at the bottom of the channel, right at the bottom of the channel, right at the bottom of the channel. So you naturally kind of want price to come down here, whereas if you take that away, second entry long, triple test off here. It's just hard. Sometimes I just wonder whether you're better off leaving that. I mean, if you were going for big moves, then yeah, maybe, but we're only going for a small move. I'm going for kind of like 3 points, which is, you know, it's not a huge amount. That's it. If I was going for a big move, you know, so I don't know. I tend to want to probably trade without it. I know generally there's an upward bias, isn't there? I'm actually not a fan of that bigger channel. And not only that, it's only touched it twice. I mean, let's face it, you can join 2 points with anything really, can't you? So we've had a break, channel, push up new high. It looks a little bit sideways here. Let's have a look. So Dan's got that. Let's have a look on Thomas Wade's forum, see if anybody else has got something similar. Well, he's got one from there, not right the way down. He's trading a... I think that's the same thing, I think, isn't it? I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah, he's trading at the same. Taylor. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's trading this thing by itself. No one else has got... I actually prefer that. Trade it more individually. I mean, at the end of the day, later on, it may all fit in with that, but the trouble is, when you start drawing channels, you're looking for a bottom to trade long in an uptrend and so on and so forth. And when you have a big channel like that, the bottom's down here. So your natural instinct is to trade close to the bottom. This is a mile away. So, you know, it's a tough one, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, this may be a triple test. Who knows? So I'm inclined just to leave that and say we've had a break. And leave the bigger channel alone at the moment. As soon as he finishes, I'll get rid of that. But, you know, we are moving up in a fashion. Oh, little flick up there. So someone went long there with a higher low. I wouldn't have done personally. I don't know. It just looks like we could bounce here and come down, but there we go. Anyway. Can you give a brief tour of those discords so I can see what value they deliver? I certainly can. So that is Thomas Wade's down here. The thing I like about Thomas is he posts his chart regular. Where is he? He might be taking a break actually at the moment. I think he might be. Yeah, Taylor's in there at the moment. There's his channel. I think he might be on a break. I can't see him here. So 20 past 4. Just before 4:15. So another one there, 10 past 4. So he posts regular. So that's what I like. And there's also the NQ chat room, the CL chat room as well. And another one as well about double chart entries. So if you're trading 2 charts at the same time, tells you how to set it up, deselect, break it and down, all that sort of thing. So there's a bit of speech about that there. So that's interesting. Which is the main room? I think it's that one, isn't it? Yeah, I think. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, yeah, CL, NQ. Obviously, this is where I hang out, S&P. But yeah, it talks about double chart entries if you want to trade 2 charts. So that's Thomas Wade's. I don't know what more I can show you on there. Really, that's Thomas Wade's, and that's Dan's. Which is new. He's not posted his chart many times, Dan. If Thomas Wade takes a trade, usually he says he's in, or he'll post a picture of it. I'd like Dan to do that a bit more, or to do it when he takes. He's marked a trade there. Whether he took it or not, I don't know. Had a channel break new high. So he's marked it, but he doesn't take everything he marks. So it'd be nice to say I didn't take it, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. So just talks about he's seen rejection there. So it'd be nice to have something. There's probably some indicator or something that could just take a snapshot of your chart every 5 minutes and post it or something. Someone mentioned something. So it's still relatively new, this. You know, Dan usually trades by himself, I think. So it might take him a little bit of time to sort of get used to, you know, dropping pictures in and stuff like that. Obviously, when you've never done it before. So that's Dan's really. I can't tell you sort of much more really. But Dan's, I think, is your UK on your tone. So it costs us £25. I think it's $25 plus tax, which cost us £25. You can always try it for a month and give it a whirl. But I like Thomas's as well. I like Thomas. He's a nice guy. You know, you're getting to know a few people. There's another UK guy. There's a couple in here. And he does post his charts a lot. He's not in at the moment. I'm guessing he's taking a break. He does take a couple of breaks a day. You say he trades 100 contracts. Dan does, yeah. Trades 100 contracts. He does. Well, so I've been told. But I got no. I mean, he was trading 40 contracts 3 years ago Mac posted a few of his trades about 2 to 3 years ago. No, maybe about 3 years ago, and he was trading 40 contracts then. And you can see it was his own account. I think Max eventually blocked it out, but you could see it was his own account. Well, certainly looked like an account. It wasn't a sim. It was, you could see his initials or whatever there, but that was trading 40 contracts a couple of years ago. So yeah, a friend of his told me he was trading 100 contracts. So I whether he is or not, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's a fair size amount. He's not a very old guy. I think he's in his mid-20s, I think. He's just particularly good at it. But, so, I mean, you can join for a month and just give it a taste. You know what I mean? So, what do you do here? A little channel up with a break. Maybe a lower height, maybe fade in this, but price is upwards at the moment, so I would tend to avoid shorts personally. So I'm wondering whether there is something like a spike in a chart. I'm not sure at the moment. I'm a bit on the fence here, but I want to avoid shorts at the moment because price really from, we had that initial drop overnight and about, I don't know, 9:30 this morning UK time, we had a push up and it's kind of working up ever since. So there is a lower high there. I wouldn't take it personally. I'm not saying it's not going to come down here, but the overall is up. So finally Trump is done speaking, is he? Yes, yeah, okay. So hopefully everyone's walking away anyway. So where did that go? Have I shut it down? Oh, it's here. Yeah, he is done and dusted. So happy days. Nick, how you doing, bud? Just entered short, yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit unsure what's going on at the moment. We are moving up, so it depends what you're looking at, really. Is there something like that? Maybe. So we can get rid of that now. So Dan has this chart like that. Which is okay. So we certainly could come down here, but we're at the middle line at the moment and the bottom of this. It's a little bit of a range there. But usually if we have a break out the top, often we have one that break out the bottom, don't we? But if that is a channel, I don't know. I mean, really, channels need to touch 3 times and it hasn't yet, has it? So maybe if it does come down and bounce here and work out, I might draw it back. But for the moment, I'm just going to get rid of it. Short at 61.30, have you? So you're short here, are you? Yeah, I mean, it was a lower high. It's certainly a trade I would have taken at the right circumstances. My only issue I have at the moment is we're pushing up and bouncing. We had some rejection there, pushed up, bounced, pushed up, and it's bounced 3 times here. So it could go higher. But as we've had that little break out the top, I usually expect one out the bottom, so I wouldn't take that, even though it is a second entry long, and it may push up. But you could say it's a triple test, but the fact that we've had a little overshoot or a break out the top, we often get one the bottom. It's kind of like a mirror image, so I'm sitting tight here. But I wouldn't be shocked if it does push up higher. Oh, excuse me. The overall bias is still up at the moment, see, so... Stopped small profit, have you? Yeah, anyone got a valid link to Dalian's Discord? You've got to do it now on his website, but I'm not sure what his website is. Apparently it costs more money or something. Best thing to do, bud, is just put a little message on here on the Facebook group. Oh, I don't know why she's popped up. That's nothing to do with me, incidentally. I don't know. It's some. I don't know what it is. Let's have a look. There we go. I don't know what the hell that was. Where is it? Yeah, just put a message on here. Dan's a moderator in here, and he'll give you the link. That's the content we come to the stream for. I don't know. It was some diet thing, was it? Something I don't know what it was. Something or other. Yeah, just put one on the Facebook page. So there is a second entry long. I'm avoiding this at the moment because we've had a break out the top of this little range, and often we get one the other end. So I'm sitting tight here. So it is a second entry long. It has bounced off support there. I mean, you could take that a bit higher if you choose. Bounce, bounce, bounce. That actually looks a little better. I'm still wary at the moment because of this breakout. I don't know how many times I've taken these and it breaks out the bottom and then goes in that direction. So if we ever have a break up at one end, a breakout at one end, I always expect there's a possibility of one the other end. Only cans. Kirk, how you doing, buddy? Only cans. I don't know what that was. It just popped up. I think it was some diet thing, wasn't it? Have a look. That's gone now. Oh, bless him. Shame to see that, isn't it? He's one of my favourite all-time actors, Gene Hackman. Shame to see him like that, really. Yeah, that is a shame. We are getting old fast. Yeah, I like him. Made some great movies, didn't he? Nick, it was an Ozempic support group. Ozempic support group. Ozempic. Ozempic support group. What is Ozempic, bud? Oh, is it that diet tablets? That diet thing. He's 94. I know, yeah. It's a shame. In fact, I was watching one of his movies the other day. Weight loss. Oh, diet pills or something, aren't they? Weight loss drug. Oh, yeah. What was I going to say? I was watching... it was the one with... he was the CIA guy in it, wasn't it? What was it called? The black guy. What's his name? Blank. Will Smith. I like him in is it Runaway Jury? Brilliant in that. Enemy of the State, yeah, it's a great film that, yeah. I like him in that. And Runaway Jury I was watching a week or so ago. That's a good film, that is. I do like him, he's a brilliant actor. Quick and the Dead, he was in the Quick and the Dead as well, wasn't he? With a young what's his name? It's gone blank. French Connection, yeah. That's great films, really. He's a great actor. Gene Hackman, yeah. It's a shame when people get old, really, isn't it? Superman as well, that's it. Lex Luthor, yeah. Yes, Clint as well, yeah. Looks like a real. I was watching. I was listening to the news this morning, and Dick Van Dyke, 99, still goes to the gym 3 days a week. Well, he does. He goes to the gym 3 days more than I do a week. Put it that way. 99. Wow. I'll tell you what. If you offered me 80, I'd snap your hand off nowadays. All the nasties that can get hold of you. I know. 99, gym 3 times a week. Yes, why I avoided that. Often when we get in these range, we get a breakout one end, we get one the other end. You went short again. Yeah, my gut feeling was that was gonna stop out of that. So break out the top, break out the other end. I still think this thing's bullish at the moment. In fact, I mean, I suppose you could even say fade the breakout maybe. I took a long a couple of weeks ago and it stopped me out for a couple of ticks and went up, and I couldn't work out what went wrong, and we had a small break at the top. The trouble is there may be a channel there. That doesn't look overly bad either. No, I don't know. Would you trade that as a fade breaker here? I'm not going to at the moment. Not a fan of that. So I'm just sitting tight here at the moment. It's not very strong anyway. 10,000 looks bullish, does it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. The whole day generally is. We've had that little lull around about the news, and then we... but yeah, I mean, that looks okay. We could still come back some, couldn't we? We pushed up, kind of had 2 legs back or triple test there, hit this side and pushed up. Nick, yes, up 0.11%, third red bar. Try the stream, yeah. So Dan add that larger channel. So I'm just going to put that there just in case this does come down. Just to give me a bit of a reference point where it may come to. He's not putting his he doesn't put his chart up that much. That was 430. Oh, tell a lie. He's just put that up there now. So he's got a leg down with a... Let's have a look at that. So he's got a channel with a break. Yeah. Yeah, see, apart from that one, he's not put anything down today. And my money is on the bounce at 61.20, which is around about down here, isn't it? It certainly could be, mate, yeah. So... Dan's got that like that, isn't it? I think sometimes tight is better. Touch, break, new low. Let's put a couple of legs down there, see where that takes us to. Close to this line. VWAP is about 12 points down. Is it really? So what are we now? So we're at 27, aren't we? So that'd be around about 15. Thomas is back, is he? He is, yeah. Good. I like Thomas. He's a nice guy. I've had little bits of conversations with him. Very friendly guy. Happy to help. Really polite. Yeah, see, he's got that as a whole channel. It actually doesn't look that bad. Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence about the bigger channel. Nothing for me yet, bud, which is a good thing. It's not been the easiest day. Obviously, there's nothing there really. We just had a lot of chop, and then we kind of took off. Really, there was nothing there that interested me. We had a couple of legs back, but it was around him starting that news. So you just he hasn't shown any yet today, mate. Obviously, with that news, you sit tight earlier because you don't know whether whether anything's really going to happen, and it didn't. It didn't really. I don't think. And then there was a couple of legs back, but I had that as a break, which I thought was right, and a new high. So I wasn't in a rush to go long here. Obviously, with that news approaching, or I say news, Trump was talking at the economics thing in Davos. So you just don't know what he's going to say, really, do you? So it's a 30 minutes home. Yeah, you're talking way over my head there, Tony. She'll balance high overnight high and could VWAP up. Yeah, POC. Yeah, I don't use any of them as a price action trader. In fact, I'll tell you, I was watching last night, and I was chatting with him a little bit as well. Is it Cammy? The Australian guy. Cammy, I think his name was. He trades sort of later in the day or later in the evening. I was chatting with him a little bit, and he uses that point of control as well. I'm assuming it's just where the main area of the volume is, isn't it? It's like kind of like a stag. It's sort of like a histogram type thing. See, as a pure price action trader, we don't need any of it. But, I understand people. There's so many different ways to trade, isn't there? There's 1,000 different ways to trade, really. I don't think that's terrible. Having said that, if it is a bigger channel, we're away from the bottom, so we may get a break. So I would say that is probably more interesting to me than the bigger channel. Because if you've got the bigger channel, we have a break. I mean, I wouldn't go short anyway, but that is the type of place you would take a short. And as we've already had a break at a new low, I would have avoided a show. He did mention order flow. He has, it looks more like depth of market to me, although I don't know much about them both, really. Let me find his channel, but he's a nice guy, actually. I've never really, I've seen who he is, but I've never really watched him much. Let me just look on my history. Is it Cammy? I think his name is. I was watching him last night. Oh yeah. If you haven't watched this, watch it. I thought that was funny. Look how they got nutty. I think that's brilliant. Nutty bar. They weren't mean to him or nothing. Like it was a bit of comical stuff, but I think that's brilliant. It's AI, I think they do it on, but I thought that was hilarious. I was watching him a bit last night as well. Guerrilla Trades. I liked everything about him. I like what bollocks. And again, I liked everything about him. Where is he? Where's the video I was watching? I can't find the damn video now. No, I can't find it. I'm sure it's Cammy, isn't it? Cammy Capital, that's it. Yeah, he trades from 6 o'clock at night. Well, 6 o'clock UK time. Yeah, that's the guy there. Nice bloke, actually. So he trades point of control, but I don't know much about all this stuff to me, but he trades from, well, more or less when I finished. This was yesterday's. But that looks, isn't that more, I don't know what it is. Isn't it more depth of market? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. But this is the point of control. I don't fully understand about it. I've never traded it really, but I'm assuming it's where most of the volume is, isn't it? So I suppose if price is going up, this is where people are going to be buying it. I'm assuming. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But I was having a little chit chat with him last night, and he's a nice guy, actually. Depth of market. Yeah. I use them for key levels to help stay out of trouble. Yeah, that's kind of my understanding of them, isn't it? It's that's volume profile. Okay. That's not point of control, no? Hey John, how you doing, buddy? I think it's worth it, mate. It works out with tax $30 a month, but you can just try it for a month if you want. This is it. This is it here. So I thought I'd give it a go. Don't get me wrong, I like Thomas Wade's. He lets me use that one for free as well, which is nice of him. Based on auction market theory. Yeah, it's too over my head, that, mate. I don't want to even pretend to know what that's all about. See, I know there's volume profile, depth of market. Yeah, the bright line is the value area of point of control. Is that where the most volume is traded, is it? That point of control? Or is it where in an uptrend buyers tend to be doing most of their buying? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, see, Dan's just posted that. Just feels like there is a lot of scenario off the midline. Yeah. That price, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think you should, stick to one strategy, find a strategy that works and stick to it. But I don't think it harms you learning some extra skills. It might help your strategy on the odd occasion where I've picked a bottom and lost, or picked a top and lost, and maybe found out later there was a load of buy orders above there or just below there. So I where most volume is trade. Okay, yeah, that's my understanding of it. So if it's an uptrend, you would tend to be that areas where people are buying from. Guys like it for in reverse. Okay, yeah, I got you. Use volume profile only. Yeah, there's so many different ways to trade. Dan posts regularly through the day and always talks about setups. Well worth it, my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's still quite new. Now, Dan's gone from trading by himself. Whether he chats with other people, I don't know. But he's gone from trading by himself to being part of an active Discord. So it's probably going to take a little bit of teething time. But hopefully, I'm sure if we asked him, could he post his chart every 10 minutes or 5 minutes? I don't think he'd have a problem with that. Well, yeah, you kind of do, I think, Steve. I think it's like a whole package deal. It works out, I think, about $90 or $100 every 3 months, which more or less works out the same price as Dan's. Because with Dan's, I don't know why it's $25 and you've got to pay $5 tax. I first joined Thomas Wade's, and then he let me. He said to me, I'm happy if you just want to use the Discord. I'm happy for you to use it free, which was nice of him. But I do rate Dan as a trader. I rate Thomas Wade as well. But, I don't think you can ever have enough friends in this business. So having, a little bit of extra, info from someone else may make you stay out of one trade once in a while. But yeah, your answer, I think it's about $90 to $100 for every 3 months, Steve. But I do like his Discord. But the trouble is, I mean, you could join Discord after Discord, couldn't you, and keep paying. And you got to kind of draw the line somewhere. He's had a bit of a break, but usually he posts his charts, I would say, every 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe even more than that sometimes. But he has had a break. He's just come back now. So I like flicking from one to another. To be honest, I've seen so many trade totally different and made a killing. Yeah. Trouble is, sometimes you hear people say, I make a lot of money doing this, I make it, but you never quite know, really. You know, I think a lot of traders don't like to admit they take losses. I know, you know, some of the Facebook groups I've been involved in, people will post their wins, but they don't post their losses. So, you know, if people are embarrassed about losses and don't post them, you never quite know what people are telling you. And I know when, not long after I started trading, Wilson was posting his charts and he was trading 35 contracts and he was making an absolute killing. And someone said, oh, he's trading a sim. And some other guy went, no, he's not. He's trading live. He made $1 million last year. And then a few months later, we found out it was a sim, and he started to trade, and he started trading evaluations, and it just goes to show he went from a trader that I thought that's what I want to be like to really struggling. It just goes to show when you start to add money into the equation, it kind of makes you a different trader temporarily. V. Wilson, yeah, it kind of makes you a different trader. So you know, once you add money in the mix, things are different. But he's had his fair share of struggles, the same as I have, the same as we all have. But he's finding his way now, I think. He had a few good payouts last year. I think he had a 25k and a 20 or something. You know, but it's a case of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, I think. But yeah, I remember watching Wilson when he was, well, people thought he was trading. I thought that guy is going to make an absolute fortune. And then he started then moving on to evaluations, and it just goes to show you can do phenomenally well trading in a sim where there's no stress whatsoever. And as soon as you start, you know, putting money in it, it makes you a very different trader. So we got a leg and a leg, and so far we're having a little push up. Thomas Wade seems to be open about his losses. That's one of the first things I notice about Thomas. When I first started watching his videos, he's got no issues with showing losses, and I think that's a plus for a trader. I think that shows a lot of strength. That does. Because, I mean, Brant will tell you, you know, we've been on the Facebook group now for, you know, a fair few years, and so many people post winning trades, but very few people post losses. I don't think I've ever seen Dan post a loss, although he takes them. I don't think I've ever seen Marco post a loss, I don't think. He used to do like a bar by bar, and I think someone asked him and he showed once, but I don't know, some traders may think it's a weakness that they've taken a loss. And you know, I was talking to that Cammy last night, and he watches a bit of Thomas Hugard as well. And I saw him take 2 losses in a row, and Thomas Hugard's supposed to be a seasoned trader, so I think it's good to watch. Because it just goes to show you, even the best traders in the world take losses. Taylor shows his losses, absolutely. He doesn't come in the Facebook group, though, Taylor. Or he may have done. But Taylor is a numbers guy to me, which I think is a good way to trade. He doesn't seem to worry about the losses. He plays the numbers. Some people, they like the trade, they take it. They don't necessarily wait for the fantastic trades. If they think it'll work, they'll take it. It's another reason why I like. I used to like watching his bar by bars, Taylor. He made a lot of sense. But yeah, I like this forum, Thomas Wade's. I do keep flicking backwards and forwards. And Marco's in here from time to time as well. But yeah, there's some nice people in here, actually. They're friendly. It's a nice, friendly. He doesn't put up with no insults if anybody's getting nasty or a little bit fresh. He just deletes the comments, but you learn from absolutely 100%. I used to get, I mean, you guys who've seen me trade for a while now, I started trading just over 2 years ago, and I used to get trapped something ferocious, and it used to absolutely fry my brain. But the more you get trapped, you start to learn where to stay out of. You'll hear me say it now and again, this looks like a trap, and when you're right, it's a great feeling. You know, it tells you learning. Yeah, you don't learn a tremendous amount from your winning trades. It's your losses. And I know people don't like taking losses, but it really is how you learn. It's the best way to learning from your mistakes. And you're really getting drummed in your brain as well. So it's hard to know what's going on here. So, you know, there's two schools of thought there. You may think that that's a channel with a break, but to me, it looks like two legs. So that's my preference there. But I used to look back at some of my old videos if you're bored one night, and I will say that you have got to be bored to watch some of my older ones. But I used to get trapped all the time, and there's nothing more frustrating than seeing price trigger your bar and start to move up in the opposite direction. It fries your brain. It really does. The other day, you can tell you upgraded the mic. Yeah, I did. I started with a £9.99 thing. This was about 100. This nothing worse than hearing bad sound, but yeah. Wade had great observations the other day. Never take a second entry. Yeah, absolutely. If you ever get an overshoot, I always avoid that first entry. Usually it's a trap. You know, after an overshoot market, my experience of markets, they tend to do one of a few things. Sometimes they'll come back, push straight up, make a new high and reverse. Sometimes they'll just reverse. Other times you'll get a bigger correction and they'll push up and make a new high. But yeah, I always avoid the first ones. If I think it's an overshoot, assume it's an overshoot and stay out of that first trade or first long trade if it's an overshoot of yeah, it's a good point, that is. It does stop you. You'll save yourself a lot of losses. Great, but they're not as good as... Absolutely. Context is everything. You can teach someone what a second entry is in 2 minutes, but it takes a fair few years of practice to be able to take them in the right direction. Context is everything. I'd say your setup is probably 30%, 20%. Context is 80%. Absolutely. Maybe a bit more than that. See, there's a second entry there. We're in an uptrend. But context is telling me we're going sideways here and we've had a breakout that's failed. And remember I mentioned that I would avoid that because I expect one here. And look what we got. Exactly the same size, mirror image. So if you'd have taken that, triggered you, stopped you out, and it's ended up going up now. So yeah, if we ever... Another thing I watch a lot for, if we go sideways, we have a failed breakout, often we'll get one the other side. And that's exactly what happened. I took a long like that a couple of weeks ago. And the context was good, but we had a very small breakout. And it triggered me by a couple of ticks, gave us a tiny breakout matching, and then rocketed up. So yeah, just... You get used to noticing things, but you do learn a lot from your losses. You learn most of your best skills from your losses. Yeah, there's nothing worth, if you're a boxer, you get punched in the face a few times, you learn to duck. So absolutely, yeah. I mean, the context of the moment, the overall is up, isn't it? And there is 2 legs back and a nice second entry long. But the fact that we've had this and we often get on the opposite side is a good enough reason to stay out of that, and rightly so. Whereas you could look at it from the opposite direction. You may say, we've had a breakout here, so let's take that short. We're going to be trapping trades there, and chances are we're going to make one here, so you could have taken the short. So you can look at it from the opposite angle if you want. First, anxiety, stress just means you don't really know, but eventually it's there because you know you're just gambling. Absolutely. Let it kick you out. Yeah. It's very hard in this business not to go through a spell of gambling. It really is. Because if you think about gambling, really, what is gambling? You're betting on an outcome where you could lose money, and it's almost identical. You know, I've heard people say it's a bit different, and I've heard other experts say it's exactly what it is. But it's gambling with a bigger edge than you would normally expect to get. You know, if you were gambling on sports, mind you, there are people who watch horse racing religiously. Who you know, we've all heard of professional gamblers. But it's very easy to get that urge to want to just gamble. It really is. I've had to sort of ask myself the question from time to time, and I've had to roll back a little bit. I used to get that urge and that little bit of excitement to want to get into it. I don't get it so much now. But you know, I'd say if you've had problems with gambling and addiction, you know, it might not be the thing for you. It's hard to know. But we've all taken outrageous risks like you would if you were gambling. And if you research how do I stop gambling and start trading, there are plenty of videos out there. But I'd say if you do have issues and you are throwing, I spent 20 a week on 4 Canadian lotto. I anticipate it. Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't do the lottery anymore. I did it. It doesn't interest me. I rarely bet on anything. Once in a blue moon, I'll have a bet on a boxing match. I had a bet on that Ruiz fight a few years ago because the odds were something like 38-1. And I had a bet on that when he beat AJ. I might have 2-3 bets a year. You know, just if I see the boxing match that I might watch or something like that, and I think there's stupid odds, it's worth a $5 or a $10 or something. But it's never interested me, gambling. You know, I've been to a couple of horse races over the years. They have one over at Chester. I went with a buddy years ago. I never even had a bet. It just doesn't interest me. But it's very easy to get that kind of rush that you get when you're in a trade, and it's very easy. I mean, when we revenge trade, we kind of, because gambling is the word for it, isn't it? You panic and you just jump it in. You're out, you're in, you're out, and you're trying to scrappily get your money back. Where I used to live, I like to have a day out at the horse track. Yeah, they're a good day out, actually. There's a lovely one at Chester where they have a race meet there. They have a few during the summer, and they are a good day out. You know, you get all dolled up, go and have a few drinks. But I couldn't be asked to queue to put a bet on. But you know, I've never been one for the fruit machines or anything. I just find them boring. Traders are in lunch now. Christian, Bob, how you doing, Christian? Yeah, it's that time, innit? 12:30 area. We go for 3 hours. Just to fly some people down to. Excuse me. I used to play a little bit of poker. Do you remember when poker really became popular again about 12 years ago? I used to go to a mate's once a month and have a poker game. It was more for a case of when he finished it, so I just had it on another monitor with the sound off just to see when he was talking. Not a lot happened, really. I think, because he started a bit late, we had a little of a flicker there, but whether that was to do with that trap bear bar or what, but it didn't really do much, did it? So yeah, I just had it on another monitor with the sound off, just to sort of, you know, find out when it was ending, really, so I could sort of concentrate on this. So what is lunch? What is it, 12:30? 12:30 to 1, or is it 12 to, I don't know. It's kind of typically lunchtime for, I don't know, people at work in the UK is around about 1, 12:30 to 1:30. So I'm assuming if they're at lunch now, it's, I don't know, is it 12:30 to 1? Half an hour, what do they have? Yeah, it's a good day out, actually, Nick. It's a good day out. I went to a dog track once as well in Wolverhampton. I had a friend who had a night out there. It's a bit of a stag do, odd stag do, like, but I found that boring, watching dogs running around a track. You can actually divide it into, let's have a look. Yeah, because I suppose you've got different parts of the country, haven't you? The main issue with Pats, there's almost no trades at all. Yeah, I agree with you there, bud. To be honest with you, the thing I like about Pats is when you get good at it, you can get very high probability trades. And I trade 2 contracts. And I go for 3 points. So if I do 2 trades a week and I can get both winners, that gives me about $2,500 per account per month. That's for 8 trades. So let's say you add a couple of losses to that. It still leaves you with about $1,800. So even an 80% win rate, you could end up with $1,800 a month, even if you lost a couple more. You know, even as little as $1,000 per account. If you've got 10 prop accounts, it's potentially $10,000. It's not pocket change. You know, you can still earn good money. Yeah, the thing is, I found for Pats, for new traders, and I was a new trader when I came to Pats, and I have heard experienced traders saying, when you're new to trading, don't scalp, because it's very fast moving and very stressful, especially when you start trading money. It's quick moving. You've got to be really quick thinking, and when you're new and when we're doing stuff new and exciting and all that sort of thing, you trade on impulse a lot of the time. And I found it took me quite a long time to be able to calm down and take a breath. You know, sometimes you've got to get into trades fast. But, you know, I've seen Thomas Wade trade sometimes. And, you know, whereas I might take a short here and jump in, he might take a limit order back a couple of bars later. So there is a little bit more time than you think you've got sometimes. But yeah, if markets are moving that quick, it might not be a bad thing that you stay out. But it's not the easiest form of trading to learn as a newer trader, I would have said, after doing it for 3 or 4 years. 61.20s now, measured move. Yeah. So you're going from here to there, aren't you? Which takes us down to there, and funnily enough, takes us down to overnight highs. That would be an interesting place to bounce. The interesting thing here is Dan's got that like that. So we have been up and broken this level, but not quite the top. So maybe we have a leg and a leg, and then this thing goes further up. It's a bit odd looking today. It's not an obvious channel. It's obviously going up, but there's a lot of kind of mixed trading here, the price is quite mixed and a little bit, not super clear. But yeah, channel down, a leg up there. A short here might not be terrible, but trouble is I tend to avoid shorting in the direction of the way price has been. But I'm just going to nip to the bathroom. Just 1 second, and I'll be back. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I think after that leg down, it's broken into two, but it's clearly a leg down for me. I'd like to see 2 attempts to push higher there. We may get it, and then down to here somewhere, or here, or wherever. Trouble is, there is a little support along here. I wonder if there is something like that down. Yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't want to take a short. If it pushed up there, broke above there, and closed below here, then that may interest me. So that ATR is quite low today. I might have to settle just for 2 points, I think. I 9 times out of 10, I go for a flat 3 points. I would stay away from 4 ticks. You're never going to make any money. Brank goes for 3 to 5. I think minimum 2 points personally. But feel your way up. I go for 3 points. If we got a lovely channel up and a really nice correction side by side, I will hold for a bit more. But it is a shame to see. But yeah, I mean, yesterday the ATR was down to about 1.5. I think going for 3 points then maybe a bit risky. But let's say, for instance, the ATR tends to hang around most of the time around about the 2.5. I go for 3 points. I'm quite happy. 12 to 20 ticks. 2 to 4 points. Yeah, I go for 3 right in the middle. I think that's right. Personally, I would say minimum of 2. Start with 2 if you're not sure. Don't even start at 1. You'll get crucified. If you're a really competent trader and you can trade enough contracts to have a runner, then... But I don't know many people who take 4 ticks. And in fact, Matt came out in a video a month or two ago and said, unless you can trade multiple contracts and have a runner, don't even bother trading 4 ticks. I think 4 ticks, you're going to get crucified. If that ATR's up and you win 5 trades in a row, you're up $250 on a contract. You lose 1 trade, it can wipe everything. So yeah, don't bother with 4 ticks. Start from 2, I would say, and then feel it, or go back and look at your trades and just. What I started doing is whenever I took a winning trade, I'd work out how many points it went for. And then, in fact, me and you did it, Tony, didn't we? Went through some old trades just to see. Didn't we do it on 6 ticks, 2 points, 2.5 points, and 3 points, just to see if it was it me and you, Tony? I can't remember. Just to see how much we'd have made based on, whether we'd be taking 6 ticks, 2 points, or 3 points. So my guess is 4 ticks is dangerous. Yeah, it is. You've got to be a very good trader to make money with 4 ticks. 3 point minimum. Yeah, I go for 3 points. Usually works out around about 1 to 1. I like the ATR. I used to do half the current ATR. Hello, the 4 ticks. I trade 1R. Yeah. What I will say is if it's a solid trade, if it's a really good, strong position, they go. So just looking at that now I had that a bit different, but we've got 2 legs back here. Not great at the time, but if they were 2 lovely legs side by side after a beautiful break and the market's strong, and you get into a good trade, you'll make plenty off them. They really do go. If you find solid setups, they work. We had one the other day, didn't we? It was the day I had internet problems. It was the day before last. We had a triple test and the thing just, I forget where it was now. It was that one there. We had that push down. We made 1, 2, triple test. I had a better bar there. It's also a second entry long. Great entry, leg down, 2 clear attempts, and look at it go. I thought that was a lovely trade. The lower high, I think, was the safer one, but look at it just drop. So we had a push down, 3 clear attempts. Every time it failed, and the third time it failed monumentally. I mean, look at the, even if you get on the lower high, and even if you follow each bar down, just to here, there's 10 points in 3 bars. So when we have a really good, solid, obvious trade, that's when you want to sort of get your full value out of them, really. Unfortunately, I had internet problems that day, so I didn't take it. Yeah, you do get a bit more wins, but if you take 2 points, you're doubling your profit. So you take 3 trades, let's say you're trading 2 contracts. It's $100 or $200. Every 3 trades, you can afford to lose one. So looks like we're testing the underside here. I see overall we are moving upwards. So, you know, I think if I was going to take a long trade, I'd be much more comfortable taking it down here. We kind of had a leg down, 2 attempts to push higher. I took the long for 1R. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. Let's have a look. I mean, these are my personal opinions, so if you have to do what you think is right now, you have to do what you think is right. The only issue I have at the moment is if there is a bigger channel up, there's still some space here. And we've had a little channel with a break and a new low and a sort of couple of retests, but there's also like one leg down there, one attempt to go higher. I'd be looking for a second attempt to go higher, which fails and comes down either for this measured move or down here. Aggressive, that's me. Yeah, we all go through that stage. Some people trading aggressively works, you know, so I wouldn't say it's a bad way to trade. You know, we all do things slightly different. Some things works for some people. Looks like it's working. Trouble is, I'd be looking for a leg and a leg. Depends on how far you go up, and for it then to fail. But it's working. So, you know, we kind of all sort of see the same thing, but you know, we all have our slightly different read and our slightly different level of risk tolerance. To embrace it, I've been doing it for more years than most. There you go. So that's what I mean. What's it plays the numbers as well. Taylor, he don't worry about taking losses. He just plays the numbers. If it looks like a trade, he takes it. Whereas I'm not fantastic at taking losses. I tend to wait for a real obvious one. See, another guy I watch as well, Penguin Trades. He takes very similar trades to Mac. It's just like a slightly big blown out version. That also kind of looks like a leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. So we've had one attempt to push higher and drop back, and now we're having another go. I would still like to see this come down and break below this level and retest somewhere around about here for me to want to go long again. But that's just kind of my personal read on it. I'm terrible at taking losses. I hate taking losses. When I say I hate them, does anybody actually like taking them? But yeah, I think it's more important. How do you react to them? If my patients get the better of me and I realise that, I get frustrated. If I genuinely think it's a good setup and I get caught out, I don't mind those. I put it down to a learning curve. And to remember, I've only been training for 4 years. This is not a long time in this business. You know, it's easy to get caught out sometimes. Yeah. So I'd say if you are doing tilt, if you are going on tilt from time to time, get yourself Guardian Angel Trader. If I take a loss now, it won't let me trade until 5 minutes after the market opens tomorrow. I cannot physically trade. Yeah, I mean, really, as a newer trader, I honestly would say spend 12 months on a sim. And then when you start to understand what's going on, then maybe get one cheaper valuation and then get into that next level of trading where you need to start experiencing what it's like to have a little bit of risk on the table. It's based on do not count entries. Sometimes if it's FST entries, sometimes it's third. Yeah. See, I think a lot of people learn PATs and then find their own way of doing it. And I think that's fine. At some point, it's about... I think that's why Mac doesn't talk about his trades, because I think he trades outside the box. He has to teach us a certain way. I start again. I wouldn't choose Pat's too hard. Well, it's funny you should say that. I mentioned a while ago, I heard an experienced trader saying, don't start scalping as a newer trader. So yeah, I can understand that. It is difficult, I think. I think about if you were trading maybe a large time frame, maybe the 15-minute time frame or 30 minutes or an hour, you've got time to try and work out what's going on. You don't have to take a trade within a couple of seconds of a bar. You can get into a trade or leave a limit order. Al Brooks says beginners shouldn't scalp. That's who I was listening to. Too much time invested in Pat's the term. That's the thing. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely believe in this strategy. It works, but you have to make very quick decisions. And they need to be quite impulsive at times. And the trouble is, when you are a little bit impulsive, it's very easy to take a step in the wrong direction for a second. So you can get caught out from time to time. It doesn't happen as much as it used to. But yeah, bigger time frames, you've got a lot more time to think and trying to work out what's going on. We'll take first entries and some. Yeah, well, sometimes if it's a strong market, every time you get a bullish bar off the key entry point, he'll say, the trouble is, what I found is until you realise it's okay to do that, we've already had a big strong market. We've had a big strong push up. So it's easier said than done, that, isn't it? Would you take that? Not really. Would you take that? Not really. But if the market was up here, then you think, well, now we've had a big strong push up. Now I can start to take them. So we've had this 2 legs down. We've had one attempt to go higher, second attempt. Let's see where this goes. So really, this for me, I think is just a range at the moment. And it may go sideways till it intersects with this line here before it pushes up, if it does. I mean, who knows exactly where it's going to go. What time is it? I got 8 minutes before my trade's cut out for the day. Yeah, I know what you mean, bud. I know what you mean. I've had a few people who said they've done his course and they found it very hard to follow. He's kind of bless him. He's kind of he's almost like a walking encyclopedia. It's very hard to keep up with. I think he's pretty smart and switched on, and I think he's also very technical, isn't he? And I think he can put some people to sleep. Not meaning it nasty. But I have watched snippets of Al Brooks. In fact, I started sort of picking up on something a year or so ago. We got a channel here. Whenever we get in an uptrend, whenever we get a bearish bar that finishes close to its lows, if you just went long there, 8-tick profit, 8-tick risk, works a lot of the time. And someone said Al Brooks has got a strategy like that, and you just pick that up from watching price. Same again, we started moving up in a channel, bearish bar, you buy there, triggers it, pushes up. And I always find the double width channels are the best. This type of width, as opposed to something like this, which is sort of more of a micro type. Slightly wider ones. I have Al Brooks, but... So yeah, whenever you get something, maybe something like this, you get a bearish bar, they tend to just keep going. This type of thing there, that type of So I think it might be a dry day for me. I don't mind it. I had a couple of losses last week. I didn't make anything last week. So having a couple of days sort of re-implementing my patience and not taking a couple of drays, I think is a good thing for me. If you understand Al Brooks, you probably wouldn't understand my system. Yeah, I think Al Brooks is very technical, isn't he? That's how he said. He's kind of like your favourite uncle, isn't he? Like he comes with his big glasses and that. But he does strike me as a very intelligent guy, and sometimes very intelligent people just they're a bit over your head, aren't they? Max, he's still away, isn't he? Mac, he's in Antarctic. I could think of better places to go on holiday, slightly warmer, but I bet it'd be an amazing experience. So not a huge amount around. I did consider that lower high. My only issue I had is prices still looks like it could be moving up, so I stayed out of it in the end. But although this is quite a lot sideways, I think at the moment, my thoughts is price is still airs on the side of bullish, I think. But it's hard to trade this stuff even in a bullish market because it is still a little bit choppy. To be retested. See, Dan's got his chart like this. He's still got it like it. I don't think it's terrible. It's working within that area, isn't it? Trouble is, when you have a big channel like that, the natural place you want to trade is at the lows of it. And with the exception of this, it's only really touched it twice. We haven't been to the lows for a long time. So if if you have got something like that, you're waiting to trade here, and it may never come here, not for quite a while. Although it fits pretty nice. So we weren't quite at the lows there. My gut feeling we may get a couple of legs down. Whether we get to there or not, I don't know because of this channel. But I thought we may test overnight highs, but we seem to come back and test this area. So I think next I would say, I mean, it does look, I mean, the overall at the moment is up, isn't it? So, I would kind of like to see a leg down and maybe another leg down to here before it pushes up and probably breaks. Today entered the market for the Dow GMTV. I am 260 points ahead. Hold to market. Yeah, see if you can get into a trade like that. I don't know how profitable 260 points is on the Dow. I know if you got 260 points on the ES, you'd make a ton of money. I'm not sure how it works on the Dow though. Red folder, news items, easy to anticipate. So where are we now? Okay, I am done for the day. My trade's cut off from 6 o'clock. If I'm not on a trade, I can't trade past 6 o'clock. I have that cut-off time, so that gives me a 3.5 hour window. So it won't let me trade. In fact, in about 50 seconds, you'll see my buy and sell buttons grey out. So let me just take a snapshot of the day. Save chart image. I've been saving everything in here. All my trades there. So, yeah, it's just kind of been a slow grind up. We pushed up, we went sideways to this area. We kind of had 2 legs up and we're going sideways. I'd like to see another couple of legs down to test this area here somewhere. It's kind of, in fact, you could even put that there. I don't think it's bad now. I initially had it as a breakout and one there, but it's fitting nicer. My gut feeling is we get a channel, a break, bounce off this area, and a couple of legs down to here, which we more or less did there. We've had 2 legs up and some sideways. We had 2 legs up and some sides before we go again. So my gut feeling is we'll probably test this area and then maybe pick up somewhere down here. I don't know whether we're going to get that measured leg now. We may do. But I'd anticipate we end up breaking these levels by the days out, and we're not a million miles away from all-time highs. What are we at the moment? 30, say 35. So, you know, we're not far at all. So I should not be able to. Is it 6:30? Yeah, I can't open a trade now. Cancel it. It won't let me cancel those. So I can see nothing's live anyway. So disconnect and then reconnect. Yeah, it blocks me out. My Guardian Angel Trader. No trades for me today. Came close. Yeah, it's been one of those days today. Do you know what? If I have a day where I don't take trades, I give myself a pat on the back because it means I've sat here for 3.5 hours with the patience of a saint. And that's only ever a good thing. I think it's good to exercise that patient muscle once in a while. I think, you know, I had a week leading up to Christmas. I only think I took a trade or 2 all week. That's unusual. So, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I give myself a pat on the back. There's nothing obvious that I can see. At the time, I had a break at a new high, but we did have 2 legs back. And I don't think it was an awful place to trade here, but it's a little bit congested, and it was around about when Trump was coming on stage. So probably not the best time anyway, but it's just one of those things. But yeah, I can't take a trade now. It locks me out now. It won't let me take a trade now until 2 minutes after the open tomorrow. So I am done for the day, folks. So I appreciate you hooking up with me. Hopefully, if you're carrying on trading, you may finally get something. But my gut feeling, we've had a break here. We may get down to this area and you may get something. You're welcome, mate, anytime. So Friday tomorrow, another week gone. I can't believe another week's time we'll be in February. It doesn't seem 5 minutes since Christmas. You will see me tomorrow. How you doing, Karina? You all right? You too, Daryl, bud. So we'll see how you get on anyway. But have a great day. Have a great evening. Stay safe and we'll catch up again. Bye for now.